Hey, Rhinos, welcome back to another Rhino podcast, getting to know the coaches here at Camp Rhino. I don't know what number we're on anymore, so like I think number 6 or something like that. We're here today with Coach Brian, and I'm actually really stoked about this interview because Brian is the one coach that has been with us since before we opened our doors, and he's been here for 6 years. Longer than 6 years really now.
Crazy.
So we'll get a lot of fun conversation with Brian that maybe a lot of people don't know about, Rhino and things like that. He's been through all the changes. So Brian, thanks for coming here and being with me today on camera.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It is, and I know you love being on camera.
That's my favorite thing in the world.
We all know that. All right. So we're going to start talking with Brian. I'm going to do some of the basic questions that I've asked everybody just because I want to keep it, somewhat normal here. And we'll go through some of those. Those are all really important things. But Brian's could lead off into a lot of different areas. He's been here, like I said, for a lot of years. I remember we had your interview in a Starbucks.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, I remember that. It was probably a year and a half or 2 years before we opened the doors here.
Yeah, definitely. It was a long time.
Yeah, we had a long time in the waiting of trying to get the building and doing a bunch of stuff. In the meantime, we started running offsite events and things like that.
Yeah,
what was
your first awesome event? What's that?
What was the first event that we did that you ran with us?
I think it was that one that was up on your property. That was
the property one?
The trail run. I think that was one of the first ones that I remember. That was the one that sticks in my mind the most.
That was a fun event. Oh my God.
That was a blast. Yeah. That's where we met Keely and Trevor. That's where we first met those guys.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a beautiful property, and we went through the river. We had them do some crazy stuff.
Yeah, we did. We had them climbing up the edge of the mountains. I remember we had one of the battle ropes going up the edge of the mountain because it was so steep. And so they had to use the battle rope to get up there, otherwise they would fall.
Yeah, one of the things I remember about it is we had them carry a bucket of water from the river, carry it up to the top of the hill and dump it, so they had to crawl up their own little mudslide.
I do remember that. That was fun. That was a really cool event. We did that one. We did Boot Camp Bodo was one of our very first ones downtown.
Yeah, that was cold. I remember that one. That one was a cold one.
That was cold. I do remember that.
Seems like every time we've done Bodo, it's always cold. Or it's
didn't you get stuck in like a hailstorm one time?
Yeah, Angie forgot the backpack at the top and she had to run back and get it while we all waited in the hail.
I remember that. So many cool events that we did. One of my favorite events with you, and we're not even starting like where I was going to start, but one of my favorite events with you ever was, I remember when we first hired you, you weren't used to doing really huge events yet. You were working in a private training studio. Mm-hmm. And so you were a lot more one-on-one and small group training and things like that. But you were Spartan certified and you were, ready to do all of these big events, but you hadn't had to do a lot of it yet. And here Rhino comes in, right? And we were just all events. Like we were just like event, let's do this huge Spartan workout and let's have 500 people in the park. And I remember, I think one of my favorite events with you ever was the very first Spartan workout that we did here on site. And I remember you were going from like being a personal trainer, small group instructor to having to do your very first Spartan workout tour. And we had like 300 people here and we were talking beforehand. And I was like, are you good? Are you good? And you're like, yeah, let's just go. Let's do this. You got up there on top of the gray cube and led this massive workout. And it was so awesome. It was so much fun.
Yeah, the anxiety level on that day was like up to here. But once it started, the people just kept coming and coming. I think we literally had over 300 people in the gym here.
Yep.
Which was insane. And to be up on the gray cube.
3 massive groups divided up for the workout itself. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be up on the gray cube in front of 300 people, I can't even stand up in front of my parents or whatever and talk and say something, much less get in front of 300 people up on a stage. And
didn't you have a mic on that day too? Didn't you have like a?
It was full mic. It was everything. It was trial by fire. Yeah, let's just see how it goes. Get up there and just be confident. If you mess up, just roll with it.
That was the beginning though, and that was the beginning of like, I think, a Brian kind of era, because ever since then, like since we've been open, every time we have a large event come in our building at all, the very first thing I've ever done since day one, even to now, is look to see if your schedule is available. It's the first thing I do, because you were always our large event guy. Like you were the guy that always led that, which was funny because it wasn't what you wanted necessarily to do at the
Yeah.
very beginning. It wasn't like what excited you.
Yeah, not at all. But it's so much fun getting up in front of that many people, especially when you have a good supporting cast that we have. It really helps, and it helps takes the pressure off of the situation at hand. Because there's going to be other people that are going to help bail me out if I need to or whatever. But
I don't think anybody's ever had to. You just kill the events. I mean, you've worked with like hundreds of Idaho National Guard guys,
yeah,
when they came in and did their training with us, guys and girls. And they came in and trained with us for what, like 2 weeks at a time, a couple years in a row.
yeah,
And you ran those events. You've run bachelor parties and like
you name it.
things.
Birthday parties.
With bachelor guys in dinosaur costumes.
Dinosaur, yeah. That was definitely a good one too.
Oh, they were fun.
Yeah. You named the event. I mean, we've had it. Everything from kids' birthday parties to some strange family nights that we've had. We used to do family night or date night.
Yeah, date night.
We've had some strange date nights that were so much fun, and I think we've literally done an event about everything.
We've done a lot of events, and COVID was it was the strangest thing with COVID. It was probably I think one of the biggest changes that we've had from COVID was just not having like all of those huge events as often anymore. And we got to a place where we've been in this situation now for so long that I was talking about events after it was all over, and I was like, we need to get some events going again. Let's do this. And nobody knows what they are now. Like we have people in our building that have never done an event with us before.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, how did that happen? Like that was so much time away from that.
Yeah, that's for sure. It'd be great to get back to some and get some of our newest members into that kind of experience, because once you do it, there's so much you can't even barely describe. I mean, even videos don't do justice of the energy it provides and how much fun and camaraderie it builds between the members.
So much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun. Well, yeah, so Brian's always been our event guy. That's just something that always sticks to me. Like that first event was so much fun. But I want to talk about why like you came into coaching in the first place, because I do think you're one of the most special coaches like we've ever had. I think you form connections with people that are really, really unique. You've earned lots of names in our building. Some of them very loving and some of them not. And I think they're all rightfully earned.
It's all by love. It's all love.
It's all love underneath it, even though it may not sound like it all the time.
Yeah.
But you have, but you make connections with people that I think a lot of people find very hard to make. And I don't know. I don't always know what that is or how you do it, but you do it. And it's always been very exciting and fun to watch. And I've always felt like we've been very lucky to have you here, especially for as long as we have. And so why did you go into coaching in the first place? Tell us a little bit about what brought you there.
I've always been into fitness and sports in high school and whatnot. And then growing up, we just ate junk food. I was usually pretty much overweight most of my life after getting out of sports. Then having a desk job after college, graduating, sitting down at a desk job, realizing that I'm not really helping anybody else out. I've been through my own weight loss journey, ballooned up to almost 240 pounds at one point, realizing my dad had a triple bypass. After watching that, realizing that we don't have a lot of chances, that it can come and go in an instant, that if I don't decide to change, that I'm going to be another statistic. Instead of sitting down at a dead-end job, just watching everybody unhappy with their health choices, and unhappy with their life the way it's going, and said, let's get back into fitness and just help people, because you know what it's been like where you started to where you are now. And it's just a great rewarding process, and just watching everybody grow and do stuff they just didn't even think they could do.
That right there, like that last line that you said is probably one of the most common things that I hear from people that work with you, and it's been consistently like that since I've known you, is when people talk about you, they always say, I don't know how, but Brian has a way of getting me to do things that I'm afraid of. Like there's this thing, like, and they never want to let you down. I don't know what that is, but I've heard
Yeah.
so many people say that. I don't want to let him down. He just really believes in me. And so I don't want to let him down. And man, I think that having a coach believe in your ability to do something is so huge for people.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah, it's everything.
It's just seeing the potential in somebody else because they don't see it. And when we know their athleticism, what they can do, what they may not be able to do, but it's just showing them what they can do to make them get a little bit more confidence, and then they just grow, and then they just keep getting bigger, faster, stronger. Yeah, it's just us showing them what they can do, their potential, and they just need somebody to believe in them for the most part, and they need to believe in themselves.
For sure. And I think when we've talked about your story in the past, I think you needed that. You needed, that was something that you worked on a lot. I know from the very beginning was just having your own level of confidence in yourself to be able to, do this job and live this life and, be this person. And you had to really work hard at that also.
Oh,
and
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one day, growing up in high school, like 170, and then all of a sudden married and kids, and all of a sudden you wake up, you're 240 pounds and going shopping for jeans in size 40 waist. You're like, whoa, no, that's not me. That's not what it's supposed to be. And it was just a good wake up call.
Yeah. I know you've told me too. I remember I don't know if it was I don't think it was when we hired you, but like at some point we had a conversation and I remember you saying like, I don't care. Just don't make me work at a desk. Like I'll do anything. Like I'll do anything for the business, but don't make me work at a desk. Like
yeah, sat at a desk long enough.
Job.
Sat at a desk long enough, and no need to sit anymore. I have a hard time sitting down even at home for like 10 minutes. I'm like, I just got to get up and do something. Start to feel lazy, but yeah, just.
Well, I imagine it's probably hard to be too lazy when you're in your home with all your babies at home.
Yeah, 4 dogs. They keep us busy. They want to go for a walk, and now that we're in Cuna, they love running through the pasture and going to play with the horses. So we have a lot more room for activities and time.
Oh, I bet they love it out there.
Oh yeah, it's insane watching the little ones. Except they like to roll in stuff they're not supposed to, and they get super dirty. But Harley loves to go kiss the horses.
Oh.
She's super sweet. Yeah, I think it's been the best thing for us so far is getting out to Cuna.
If you're meeting Brian for the first time through this interview, if you're one of our members that doesn't know Brian yet, you should know that they are a dog family. Very
just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit. So if you love dogs, come talk to Brian because he can talk dogs. You even owned a business for a very long time having to do with dogs. Talk about that for a second. That was really cool.
So we had the premise of, we talked to so many people, whether it's a gym or just at our mine and my wife's work. The people would always complain they don't have time to work out, but they want to go walk their dogs. So we decided to create Fido Fit Boise, and we created workouts that you could bring you and your dog. We incorporated exercises that would stimulate the dog as well as their human. And it was a good time. It was a lot of work, tough, but so rewarding watching so many dogs.
So honest answer here. Who did you like coaching more, the dogs or the humans?
The dogs don't talk back. They don't complain. They just run. We get to feed the dogs treats too, so that was nice. I don't get to feed the members.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the dogs didn't talk back.
Yeah, I guarantee you. I tell people all the time whenever they see you work with our kids programs, because that's another thing that you've kind of been a staple in since from the very beginning. Brian's worked with our children's programs, mostly our teens, but our little rhinos as well. And something that they would always say was, "Oh, he's so great with the kids." And I would say, "Yeah, I think Brian likes the kids better than the adults most of the time."
Yeah, kids just do what you ask of them. The adults do, but they'll grumble on the way out. But kids are so much fun to work with.
Yeah. They really are. And we've always had such great kids in our programs too.
Oh, a blast. And being here 6 years, we've seen like McKenna and Aspen and some of the other members, kids grow up, and we've seen them grow from like toddlers to, teenagers.
Yep.
Which is
Aspen
crazy.
was a newborn when she was first coming here. She was a newborn because Renee was pregnant when we first met them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's insane.
Our very first Rhino baby.
Yeah, and to watch their kids grow up and be a part of their life, and to help coach them as a kid it's just awesome. You don't get to see that very often.
Yeah, especially when people stick around for that long, right? Like we have a few members that have just stuck around. When they stick around long enough that you can see their baby go from a newborn all the way to now being in our kids' classes, it's unbelievable.
Super cool. Yeah, or even the kids that their brother and sister are doing the kids' classes, and they're unable to, and they get to watch them participate in the kids' class, and then eventually one day, they get to join with their brother and sister, and it's even so much more cool. And we have so many families that are good stories that pass on to their kids' fitness. Like we have families that work out here, and they get to bring their kids and work out at the same time, and they make it a family type atmosphere.
Yeah,
that's awesome to watch.
I love it when it sounds like, we're a gym, right? So somebody could be watching something like this and being like, it's just a gym. Like, why do you make this such a big thing? But you're talking about family time. Like, these are things that kids remember. These are things that kids are watching their parents, emulate, like show them what taking care of themselves looks like. And they're teaching them life skills and habits. Like, these are the things that will affect who they become as humans.
For sure.
And it's huge. We take this very seriously because we know how much our health affects who we are as human beings, and it really is like everything. And so where sometimes people are like, well, it's just a gym. Like, I just go there to, work out, and that's fine. Some people just, come in because they want to sweat today. But the bottom line is they're still getting something really amazing out of that in their life. And, for whatever reason that you're here, whether you're here to change your life or you're just here to get a sweat today, like either way, your health still dramatically affects the type of human that you are. And we just take it so seriously for that. And we see that with our kids. We see that, all the time in this gym.
Yeah, it's really great.
I love your personal story. I think a lot of people in the building would never believe that you weren't, where you are now.
I don't even have pictures, back then, because I didn't want my picture taken. I love taking pictures of people. As you know, we do photography, but for me to be, picture taken, I don't see that. Even when I was that big, I didn't see that at the time. I thought, oh, just that's the way it's supposed to be. Because my parents never were working out people. My dad would go to work, come home, and then eat dinner and play baseball with us or once in a while, but never really focused in on their health.
Yeah.
And it's been nice to really get back to health and help other people.
Well, and it's hard, right? It's not an easy job, is it? Being a coach?
No, a lot of people think, oh, coaching, all you do is just go stand around. But, we provide so much energy. We're not just more than a coach. We're friends and psychologists and shoulders to lean on and everything else. And we can't have a down day when we're in here, because people are coming in to they might be having a down day. And if we have a down day, it's just going to multiply their terrible day. So we got to make it the best and make sure they leave in a good mood.
Yep. We have a coach that used to work here that I remember her saying she had lost somebody in her family, and I remember asking her, do you need to take the day off? Do you need to take some time? And we were trying to get her to take the day, and she said, no, I need to be there right now. She said, I just need to come down there and pour everything I have in me into other people right now, because that's what refuels me. Yeah. And I know you've been through things, we've had 6 years, in this gym. Like, you've definitely had like life things, big, huge life changes happening throughout that 6 years, where when you say like, you can't have a down day as a coach, it's such a hard space of coaching. And we talk about that, privately a lot, where it's like, you can't have a down day because those people are relying on you to feed them and fuel them today. And that is your job, and yet you're still human and have down days, and so somewhere in there, it just becomes this space of balance where, you have to recognize your own space and what you need for you, but also be able to pour into others. How has that been for you in the last 6 years? Because I know you've had a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you definitely have to find your own Zen time, what makes you happy when you're not here. And it's exhausting getting in here and providing so much energy and coaching and doing everything. Then to go home and find some time to be active, walk the dogs or whatever. But you just have to dig deep, and that's just your new life. It's what you just do anymore. And instead of like no pity parties and like, oh, I stood all day for 10 hours, the family doesn't know you stood 10 hours or coach. You still have to devote time to them and put as much energy as into your family as you do here to make a balance.
Yeah. Well, and you do a lot of things to protect yourself, I think, in those ways too. Like a lot of people don't see it because it's not during class times, but you come in this gym and work out every day, right? You're out there doing your thing every day because you know what you need for you.
Yeah, it's hard, It's hard to, coach, and then it's like being on the computer for 8 hours for your job, and then what, you want to go home and be on the computer?
Right.
Like, no, I don't want to do that. And it's like some days you don't want to work out, but you need that consistency, but it just makes you happy. After where you're done, you may not want to do it, or like you may not want to come into the gym. We have members that are like, oh, I don't want to come to the gym, but then they put their shoes on and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I came to the gym. I needed this so bad. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, for sure. I love that when people say stuff like that too. Like, yeah, I got so much out of that. I feel so much better right now. And yeah,
it's so cool to hear that. Like, I wasn't going to come, but now I can. Thanks. It's something we needed. I mean, because when they come in, they get to see their family. Maybe not their family, but rhinos are all family. And they may be having a bad day, but someone else, they go, oh, Mark's here or something, and they share a story, and they help pick each other up.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I think a lot of the members that have been here, especially people that have been here for a period of time and have been in like group classes where they're around people, would describe, everybody here as their family. Yeah. I'd be surprised to hear anybody not at that point once they've been here that long. Some of our people have just been here so long. Okay, we're going to change topics here a little bit. I'm going to guess that most people are going to think they know the answer to this, and I don't know if it's going to be what they think or not. I'm curious. What's your favorite skill to teach?
Rope climb.
Rope climb. All right. See, people aren't going to guess that. They're going to think what? What are they going to think you're going to say?
Probably burpees.
Probably burpees.
Yeah, but I love rope climb. It's just a hard skill, to coach, and then you just watch, once you get good at coaching it, watch someone get up there for the first time, and just their amazement when they come back down and like, oh my God, I just climbed that rope.
Right.
It's cool. One skill that we don't, where else are you going to go climb a rope outside? You're just not going to go do that unless you're training for a Spartan race or CrossFit, or, we have boot campers that teach rope climb, and they're like, I haven't done it since I was in elementary school. And then when people say, there's no way I can climb a rope. Well, let's just go try. And it's just a blast to teach. I love rope climbs. It's probably one of my favorite things.
Very cool. I love that that's different than what people are going to think it is too. They're all going to go, burpees, burpees, burpees.
No, I'd like to hand them out, not coach them. Because I got to do them to demo them.
Not a whole lot of coaching in a burpee either, right?
Yeah.
Just get down there and get back up. Like it's
just fall down and get back up. Come on. How hard is it?
Pretty easy to teach.
Now do 100 of them. Just fall down 100 times to get back up.
Right. You'll be a better person afterwards, I promise. One of the questions that I've been asking everybody is, I've worded it a couple different ways. One of them was like 3 ways that your coworkers would describe you, 3 ways that your kids would describe you. For you, I'm going to change it. So I hope you didn't spend time thinking of this one. But what are 3 words that have been used to describe you from your clients? From your members?
My gosh. Do you want to be nice?
Or PC. Somewhat PC here.
So you can bleep it out later?
No, we don't have a bleeping program. So
I've been called evil. Justin Jantz even created a little devil picture of me from the Star Wars cantina scene. He replaced my picture with that little devil guy in there. So I've been called evil, mean, loving, you name it. It's been thrown out there.
I've definitely heard the devil a time or two. Wow, yeah. The devil.
Yeah, and they always say, I can't believe we pay for this.
I know, but they keep coming back.
I'm like, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, we've definitely heard the words over the past. You've earned a lot of titles in our gym from people, a lot of names, but equally mean, and probably not equally, unequally more so nice. Like, I think people always say like Brian is the devil, but man, I love that guy. Like, he's so nice when he does it. I don't know how, and they can't figure out why they love you to death, but you're also,
just making better humans.
I love it. I would venture to say that most people that have been coached by you feel like they're a better human because of it. So
I would hope so. After they're done, sweating.
Yeah. After they can peel up off the ground, then they feel better about it.
Yeah. That's
all right.
Makes it worth it,
What's your onto a whole different thing again. What's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear?
Yeah.
Besides like snakes or
you can go there if you want to also.
Spiders. Biggest fear is just not living up to my potential of what other people think I should be, that I can achieve. It's just, I don't want to let anybody down, especially like my family. I don't want to let them down, and I don't want them to think like I didn't go for it or I didn't try hard enough.
Yeah. You have a great family, and Karen obviously has been, one of the most supportive spouses I think we've ever had in any gym environment. I think for the first 4 years we were open, she came to every team meeting even.
Yeah, she was an honorary staff member for the most part.
For a very long time, she was an honorary staff member. Yeah, I always kind of figured at some point she'd probably be running one of these places,
Yeah, she helped with events, and she helps coach people, teaching them how to rope climb. We've done our fair share of Spartan races, and yeah, it's a great combination to have.
She comboed the date nights with you. She taught the date nights, which was great. Yeah.
Which is thrown into some weird dancing, and we don't dance. No.
Thai massage, I think we did.
Oh yeah, we did Thai massage and
acro yoga,
square dancing, and yoga, and
we need to bring a date night back. People need a date night. We need to bring date night back, at least one.
Yeah, at least one. Like old school, bring it back.
Yep. I love it. All right, ending it out. What are you currently studying and learning right now? As coaches, we're always learning something. We're always studying something. We're just like eternal learners. What are you learning right now? You've been coaching for a long time, so
yeah.
I'm on your plate.
Focusing on gymnastic work. Really trying to dive into that and become a little bit more fluent in getting inverted, because I'm not a big fan of handstand work, or it's just not that I don't like it. It's just the weird feeling, I'm almost so many years old and never being on a handstand, never been a gymnast. So it's definitely a completely different world. So yeah, I've been trying to put my attention into some gymnastic work, like handstands, stuff like that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Interesting. I wasn't expecting to hear that.
No.
I'll be watching for upside down Brian in the gym now.
Yeah. It's just an uncomfortable feeling if you're not, if you don't do it all the time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's awesome. I'm trying to think, man, there's so many things. There's so many directions we could have in a conversation with you. I want to thank you for spending your time here. I'm going to actually end it with the question that I usually start with. Okay. And we've probably already covered a little bit of this anyways, just in what you're talking. But before I end it with this last question, just if you're in our building and you don't know Brian, you need to. So make sure you do. Make sure you have a conversation with him. Brian has been a kind of a ride or die in this business since we started it. He's known from the very beginning, that building this big and a business this big was going to be hard. We didn't know if we could do it. We didn't know if it would work here. We had a lot of odds stacked against us. And he said from the very beginning, I'm here, I'm in it, and I'll go down with it if I have to. And, this is what we'll do, because he believed in the vision of this place, and he believes in making people better humans. And I just want to say, if I don't say it enough, I hope I have told you this enough times, but I'm always eternally grateful that we found you, that we met you in life, and that we know you. You've always been, since I met you, one of my favorite humans, because you have a heart of gold. And I think that like you can't help it. Like you can't help that you love people like you do.
Mhm.
You just show it in ways that they don't always feel
Yeah.
love. When they're doing burpees, it's because you love them and you care for them and you want them to be better humans. When they're, getting tortured, like it all comes out because you care about people and you care about humans. And we've had 100 conversations since I've known you where we've laughed and we've cried and we've, gone through all the stressful times of business and everything else. And I feel like you've been there from the beginning for all of it. So
Yeah.
I thank you for that. I thank you for everything that you've poured into this place. This place would not be what it is without you. And I just always am so grateful that we have you here. So thank you for that. We're going to end with the final question, which is usually the first question. And it's what makes your soul sing?
What makes my soul sing is helping people. I was always or not always, but I was in a position where I didn't think that there was any reason to go on. There's been times like that, and you dig yourself up, and to get out of that, to change your complete negative outlook to positive every single day, it's a hard job. And to come in and do it and show that it can be done, and to help other people turn around from negative. I mean, we used to have a member that would come in negative all the time, every single day, and would tell a drab story. And like, no, you're not going to come in the door unless you're happy. You got to be happy because, if you look at life happy things are going to happen to you. If you look at your life negative, everything's going to be negative and you're going to live a terrible life. As soon as you turn around that positive outlook, then, a lot more positive things happen. You look at things from a whole different perspective. So that's just, yeah.
I love it. I love it. It's true. It's all authentic you. Like everything you're saying there, it's all the stuff I've heard you say to people 100 times. So, and you've been through it yourself. You've put the work in, and you put the work in. Not you put the work in and then one day you were perfect. It's you put the work in and you put the work in all the time on yourself and making sure you're staying on top of your own happiness. And I think that speaks volumes for what you teach others. So, I'm grateful our people have you. I'm grateful that Rhino has you. And I hope everybody enjoyed getting to know Brian a little bit deeper today. So
love the camera. I can't wait for more.
thanks for being here, Brian.
Thanks, Jen.
All right.
Bye, guys.